Hey folks, Bill Treadway here with you again. Just wanted to talk to you about XRP and President Trump. What a shame. When we consider President Trump and when we consider XRP, we've got to come to one conclusion. You got to come to the conclusion that XRP is pretty much being treated like President Trump. Let's take a look at XRP for a minute. XRP has been upfront and honest from their genesis. They've been transparent and upfront. We know who the people are that are driving the product, that are driving the company, that are behind the innovation in Ripple that has created XRP. They state how much XRP they own. They show their escrow amounts and their schedule for release into the ecosystem. And then you have the other side too. You have Bitcoin, who has not been transparent. Bitcoin was created by a person who remains in the shadows, Satoshi Nakamoto. And that Satoshi Nakamoto, whoever he or she may be, still controls 1 million Bitcoin, give or take a few. And they're not sharing their plans for Bitcoin or for the path that the digital asset is going to be on. They also we don't know how this is going to affect the market or the price of the tokens or the individual who owns the tokens. Those people who are pro-Bitcoin, people like Jamie Dimon and the like, they're bashing XRP. They're producing outright outrageous lies about XRP and Ripple. One of their lies is that XRP is centralized, when in actuality, if you go back to the earlier statement that I made, they show their escrow amounts and their schedule for release of those tokens into the ecosystem of digital currency. We haven't seen any of that from Bitcoin. We haven't seen any of that. The only thing we've actually seen from Bitcoin has been infighting amongst the people who are the miners of Bitcoin, which doesn't really promote a good face to the public. Now, the problem we have here too, and why I bring Donald Trump into this, I myself, I am a independent, and I don't lean one way or the other. I don't have a party that I behold to, whether it's the Democrats or the Republicans or the liberals or the conservatives, either one of those. I don't really lean one way or the other. I make my own decisions based on the information that I pull forward from the things that I read, from the articles that I see, from the information that I gather on my own. I'm a student. I learn, I continually learn, and I make my own decisions based on what I feel is best for the country and what I believe is in line with what the Constitution of the United States, one of the founding documents of our country, states. I don't go by rhetoric. I don't go by hype. I don't go by what the latest fads are. I go by what the facts are, and I go by what the law says. Now, the problem with the politicians and Donald Trump is that they have never encountered a businessman who loved America like President Trump does. They also have never had to run a campaign honestly and transparently like President Trump did. He set out his agenda of the promises that he made to America when he was on the trail to be the president. And we know that in political world that all the politicians that are running, they all make promises. The only difference is these guys have come up against a businessman. He is not a politician, he is a businessman. And of course, we know that there's politics in business as well. But this man came from the field of business. He knows how to get things done. He made promises to America, and he's fulfilling them one by one. Now, the Bitcoin people and the other companies like them, they have never encountered a company or a businessman who had a written plan such as Ripple and XRP, who followed it to a T and who also made it transparent for everybody to see, as well as Donald Trump. Ripple and XRP have set the bar high for all the rest of the companies in the digital asset space to reach for. Now, we see a lot of companies out there, we see a lot of tokens out there, we see a lot of promises, we see a lot of ideas, a lot of thoughts, a lot of intents. We see a lot of white papers out there in the digital asset space. But the only ones who have been totally, completely transparent have been the producers of XRP through the corporation Ripple, and they have set it in motion, and it is working its magic, and it is doing its thing. And the reason why it is getting so much flack and XRP is being beat up so much in the media and by the Bitcoin maximalists and those who are pro-Bitcoin is because they know that XRP is truly a better product than Bitcoin or the proof of work tokens out there that are have already been proved to have certain flaws with them. Now, anything that's man-made, that is of technology, that is not of nature and of what God created, is going to have its flaws. I'm sure XRP may have its flaws too, but I haven't found any at this point. If you found some and you know about them, please comment down below and let me know so I can be fully versed on all those things, so I can make a better choice, a better decision on the information that I have. And if you want to leave a comment below. As far as XRP and Donald Trump, it really is a shame that this man has stood up for the values of America, and he's been bashed for it. This man has stood up as a businessman to accomplish the goals that he promised that he was going to accomplish, and has been fought on all sides by both parties trying to maintain their hold on the little world that they have created. And this man is doing nothing but trying to make America better for we the people. Now, XRP is also trying to make the ecosystem and the space of digital assets better as well. Now, we have got to make a decision based on information that we have. Which is better? Is Bitcoin better? Is XRP better? Which one is going to be the long stay? Right now, Bitcoin is the name that is known. Bitcoin is the one that has first mover advantage. Bitcoin was the first one through the wall to get bloodied up, to come into the space and to make the digital asset as we know it nowadays, digital asset space, the cryptocurrency space as a lot of people know it, or the Bitcoin space, the way it's more commonly known. And if we were to take a side-by-side view of Bitcoin and XRP, and we were to go side-by-side over the advantages and the disadvantages, you would have to honestly say that XRP is the better choice over Bitcoin. It is also the better choice over many of the other digital assets out there as well. There are going to be those assets out there, those tokens, those companies that are going to be just like when it was in the internet bubble and the dot-com bubble. There are going to be those that are going to be a flash in the pan. They're going to come, they're going to look good, but they're going to have no depth to them. They're going to have no value to them. They're going to have no use case to them. There's nothing that people could do with them. So just by attrition, they're going to fall away. Just by the lack of the use of the technology that they were trying to build, the world that they were trying to create, or the use case they were trying to present, they're going to fall away because there is no use case for them. And then there are others, like if you look at, say, the top 50 tokens or coins today, or digital assets today that are in the market. If you were to look at Coin Paprika and take the top 50 tokens in there, and you were to look at each of them and look at the people behind them in the white papers, look at their purpose and look at how long they've been in and what their niche is in the digital asset space, you would probably find out of those 50, you'd probably find 35 to 40 of them that are going to end up staying for the long run. You may find all 50 staying for the short run. You may find 40, 45, maybe 35, 38 of them that end up dropping off in the mid range. But in the long range, you're probably going to get about 30 of those, 30 to 35 of those that actually stay there in the game and actually have a use case, so that people can actually buy in and buy out and actually use the product that they are presenting to the digital asset space. Well, those are my thoughts on it, on why Bitcoin, on why XRP and President Trump are, it's such a shame how they're being treated and how unrighteous, unjust that they're being treated. But, let me know what your thoughts are down below, and take care, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.